I think that if our bulletin was put onto a real Oldham community radio broadcast, that the issues would be that it doesn't really reach all the target audiences within Oldham, like the African community, the Asian community and the older generation, because we're mainly just aimed at young people because that is who is listening at that time, and that is the main target audience, even though they do cater for a wider range at Oldham Community Radio. The strengths could be that it is audience appropriate for that time, as that's the school strand, and we also have an upbeat jingle and appropriate stories that will appeal to people at school and university and college, because we talk about how people are getting on in university and how they can develop skills and what they want to do in the future, but also talking about science within college and how people are helping. So this could emphasise the younger generation rather than any of the other ones. The weaknesses are that the interviews within it are long and the stories themselves are very long instead of short, so they could get a bit bored with it, but I think the stories are interesting enough to keep them listening to Oldham Community Radio if it was actually on it. I think that it does attract the target audience overall because of who we've aimed it at and who listen at that time. Comparing it to an actual Oldham Community Radio news slot, I think it would fit in because we've identified their audience, and we've stuck to stories based surrounding the target audience, but they do a lot of things that also cater to other needs, like the jingle. It has an Asian man in the voiceover, which would then appeal to other ethnic minorities within Oldham, which ours doesn't have. And they also have shorter stories, which makes it very fast paced, whereas ours is more slower. I think our jingle would match theirs because they're both quite upbeat, and this would appeal to the target audience of 14 to 19 instead of it being boring and not having a lot of beats in it, because then it would make them not want to listen to it, and for that target audience you need to try and make them interested in the news as much as possible, because otherwise they could just turn over the station and people could get bored with this. And in a real Oldham Community Radio broadcast they only have really short interviews because it's very fast paced, so this would keep more people interested, whereas that could be the downfall in ours because they're quite long and have a lot of explanations in them. I think our strengths are the same because we both have upbeat jingles, but they cater to a wider range of people with the stories, because they have things like sport and weather, and also a lot more hard news stories rather than soft news stories, because there wasn't many soft news in them, like entertainment or anything like that.